Hey guys, Frank here from Preston, Melbourne, Australia. Just thought I'd enter or put up another tag, and this is a response to Morten Astad from Norway. And he put up a Rolling Stones tag, 24 questions. So I thought I might give it a shot. I'm a bit of a Stones fan, I'd say. I've got about 100 albums of theirs, 100 singles, about 70 CDs. So yeah, I'd say I'm a bit of a fan. So I've got a bit of stuff to choose from to answer these questions. Anyway, so let's start it off. The first question is, what's your first Stones memory? Well, my very first Stones memory is when I was a kid, and it would have been 1978. On TV, I saw the video to the song Miss You, and that was the very first time I'd sort of ever been exposed to them. And the song just blew me away, and I still love it to this day. What's that? God, it's getting close to 50 years later, but yeah, great stuff. All right, question two. First Stones album or whatever, first Stones product you bought, do you still have it? Yeah, well, like I just mentioned, Miss You. Well, the first thing I got was this, the 1978 Some Girls, absolute killer album. Yeah, I would have bought this in the early 80s, and yeah, this is the exact copy I'd bought. But yeah, great album. But that's yeah, my first Stones acquisition. All right, last acquisition. Oh well, recently I've been hunting for this for a while, and it's quite expensive, but I got this. Rolling Stones strip. This is I don't know when was this? This was probably in the 94, 95. It was during the unplugged sort of series where bands were doing it, and this was their answer. And it's a brilliant album, double album, brilliant stuff. Um, yeah, so I've got about they've got about 38 albums, I think, live albums, and I've got about three to go. And this was my third last. I've still got Tokyo and Brussels to go, and then I've pretty much got them all. But yeah, this is my last acquisition. I'm very happy with that. Yep, stripe or stripped, not striped. Um, Favorite Stones member? Oh God, it's a hard one, but I'd have to say Jagger. Just a brilliant performer and songwriter, and he comes across as a pretty funny sort of guy as well. So even though, you know, Heath's up there as well, but yeah, I'd have to go Jagger. Anyway, yep. Favorite Stones guitarist? Well, also, yeah, I'd have to go Mick Taylor. Yeah, he was there during the best period, the 70s, late 60s, early 70s. You just can't beat tracks like Can't You Hear Me Knocking and, Time Waits for No One, stuff like that. So, yeah, I'd have to give it to Mick Taylor. He'd be up there. Happy Stones experience that makes you glad. Well, it's not actually a Stones experience. Well, it's part Stone experience, but I saw Keith Richards play in '92, I think it was, down at Town and Country in London, and it was a small gig and pretty close, and he was just so chatty and jovial and entertaining, and yeah, that's always I've just got a great it was just a great experience, just a lot of fun, a lot of fun. But yeah, so I suppose that would be my Happy Stones experience. All right, favorite cover. Well, I'd have to go the old Exile on Main Street. I love all the little pictures, particularly that one there, the guy with the three balls in his mouth. But yeah, I'd have to say, yeah, Exile on Main Street is my favourite cover. All right. A book, magazine, yesterday's papers. Well, I've got this book here. I got this when I was, just a young teenager. And I got this here, and it's called The Rolling Stones Complete. And it's basically, just all the music and stuff. Like I play guitar. Well, back then I was learning guitar, and this helped me a lot, working out various Stone songs. And yeah, this book is basically from the beginning up until Emotional Rescue. But yeah, 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 it was a good book, and it helped me a lot. It helped me figure out a lot of this stuff on guitar. All right, you you got to live. Have you seen them live? Well, yeah, I've seen them live. I saw the Stones. The first time I saw the Stones as a band was at the MCG in 1995. It was a Voodoo Lounge tour, supported by Beast of Bourbon. Great show, great show. And the second time I saw them in 2014 at the Hunter Valley in New South Wales, an outdoor gig just at these winery, and that was really good. But I've seen Mick Jagger. I saw him in 1988 play at the Melbourne Tennis Centre, and also stood outside of a pub where he did a secret gig. It's a pub here in Melbourne called the Corner Hotel, and played to about 500 people in this pub. Secret gig, and I stood outside and listened to that. And I've also seen Keith play in London in '92. Yeah, '92 at the Town and Country. So yeah, so twice, three solos and two as a band. Yeah. Favorite DVD or Blu-ray? Well, I've got this one here. This one here. It's an unofficial DVD, and it's Rolling Stones at the Hunter Valley, and yeah, my favorite because I went to the gig. So yeah, so that I'd say that's my favorite Blu-ray. All right, what have we got next? Are the Stones funny? Well, yes. No, I find they're quite funny. You only have to look at this album here, which I just put up before. Some girls, and some of the tracks on here are yeah, they've got sense of humor to them. Be it Faraway Eyes, Shattered, Shattered. The falsetto in Beast of Bourbon, in song Some Girls, the lyrics in Some Girls, yeah. So I think they've got a sense of humor. Also, if you check out the net, there's a really good interview that Peter Cook and Dudley Moore do with Mick and Charlie, and that was back in 1974. And just brilliant, very, very funny, just how the four of them work together. So yeah, I do find them quite funny. All right. An album that you don't get into. Well, this seems to be the most popular so far from what I've seen from the others, but yeah, it would have to be Dirty Work. You know, very average. They were going through a pretty shitty time. Surprisingly, they didn't break up back then, and yeah, very average. I must admit, it's got one hit to the body on there, and I quite like that track, but yeah, overall, this would be at the bottom of the pile. Okay, best and worst solo. Well, I've got quite a few of their solo, quite a mix solos. Keith's, I've got a Ronnie Wood solo. They're all pretty average albums. They've got a few standout tracks here and there. So I went sort of songs instead of albums, and I'd have to say the worst solo song I've got, or yeah, it would be this Mick Jagger's "Let Work." Just atrocious. I don't even know what he was thinking of about that when he released this. And the best solo song, and this would be in my top three Mick Jagger songs, be it with the Stones or solo, would be this Memo from Turner. Was it 1970? It was on a soundtrack called Performance. It's credited to Jagger and Richards, but Richards is not on the recording. They've actually Ry Cooder plays the slide guitar on this, but this song is just unbelievable. It is so good. Like I said, it would be in my top three Mick Jagger songs. Just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, Memo for Turner. Um, experimental stuff. Well, that was different. Well, you'd have to go for old Black and Blue. This is they're going through their reggae phase, and yeah, great album. Yeah, it's got the what's it, 1976, that sort of reggae tinge. As quite a few tracks. Hey Negrita, hot stuff. Yeah, just great stuff. But yeah, I'd say that would be a different, where they've gone a little bit different. Yeah. So yeah, back in Black and Blue. The albums that you got most copies of. Well, I'm not like others who have like 10 copies of one particular album. I'd have to say the one that I've only got three, but I'd have to say Go Ted Soup. You know, there we go. That's the original. This is a reissue double. I've got it on CD. Oh, sorry. And I had it on cassette, or I have got it on cassette, but I can't find it, so it's somewhere up on the roof or whatever. But yeah, Goat's Head Soup. All right, one song that speaks to you. Well, I'd have to say the song that speaks to me, and ironically, it's often a compilation album, but I would say it's my favourite song of theirs, and it's off Metamorphosis, and the song's called "Jiving Sister Fanny." Yeah, I'd have to. It would be probably close to my favourite. It'd be up there. Memo Turner'd be in my top three, but yeah, "Jiving Sister Fanny." It's just an absolute killer track. The guitar work in it, yeah, just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Check it out if you don't know it. So, not a very well known song, but yeah, a killer, absolute killer. All right, albums by the decade. All right, here we go. 60s, you'd have to go. Beggars Banquet, 68, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. 70s, I'd have to go Sticky Fingers. Yeah, it's hard. There was a bit of a competition in the 70s because, you're up against Goat's Head Soup, Some Girls, Exile, but yeah, I'd have to go for Sticky Fingers. Um, 80s, Emotional Rescue, and yeah, this has got some brilliant stuff as well on it, and yeah, that would take the 80s card. There we go. 90s, 90s. Well, there's only two in the 90s, but I'd have to go Voodoo Lounge. Saw him tour it. Yeah, that's got some really good tracks on here as well. So yeah, uh the noughties, we'd have to go the old biggest, the biggest bang, biggest bang. Well, I think it's the only album in the noughties, so yeah. In the tens, I'd have to do I'd have to do Blues and Lonesome because it's the only album they released in the tens as well. And in the twenties, once again, they only released one album. And yeah, Hackney Diamonds. Yeah, it's got a couple of good tracks on it. Nothing too good, nothing too major, but yeah, that's all right. So there you go. Show a single. Well, this single here, yeah, it's a Japanese Japanese cut, and it's Heartbreaker, 1973. And this single is just, probably two of the best songs off the album, Heartbreaker and Dancing with Mr. D. Yeah, killer, killer tracks. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Show a 10 inch. Well, I've got the 2012 Doom and Gloom. Great song, really, really good song, really good song. Probably one of the last best songs they've done, I reckon. But yeah, actual, yeah, really good, really good. Um, Beneath them shows something that was beneath them, or that it was a period. Well, I'd have to say the early '80s. When Mick and that they were dressing up in all these pastel colours. Here's a picture here. It was just a time. That balloons everywhere, props, and yeah, it was. You see it on their album covers, just all these sort of pastel colours and stuff, and yeah, I think that was a time, yeah, they could have skipped, but yeah, that would be my answer. All right. A favorite compilation? Well, I've got quite a few, but I'd have to say this would be up there. Sucking Through the 70s. Sucking Through the 70s. It was released in '81, and it's more sort of less common, or not as big a hits from the '70s. But you got stuff like Shattered, Everything's Turning to Gold, Hot Stuff, Time Waits for No One, Fool to Cry, Manish, When a Whip Boy, when a whip comes down, If I Was a Dancer, Crazy Mama, Beast of Burden. Yeah, killer, killer album. So yeah, I'd probably put that up there. It hasn't got all the standards on there. So yeah. Um, Favorite live album? Well, we'd have to go the old El Macabo. This is the two secret shows they did in Toronto back in '77. They played under the name the Cockroaches, and a club of 300 people. But yeah, this absolute killer album. Yeah, great song selection. Yeah. All right. So what else we got here? We got why do you love or like them? Why? Well, basically, it comes down to their songwriting is just brilliant, catchy tunes, fantastic guitar hooks throughout, and just a brilliant rhythm section. So yeah, basically, yeah, why I'm into them. And what are your thoughts of them in the future, or what would you like to see? Well, I'd like to see, if they did another sort of, an unplugged tour, an acoustic tour, and Mick doesn't have to run around and jump around anymore. They just all sit in stools, they're all in their early 80s now, sit on some stools and just play some obscure stuff of theirs on acoustic. That would what I'd like to see them do. Whether they do, nah, probably not. And a studio album, which is a masterpiece. Well, I've showed it before, but you'd have to go Beggars Banquet. Yeah, just every track on here is just a killer. Brilliant stuff. So yeah. Anyway, that's my 24 answers. Yeah, Onion Mustard, and yeah, I'll catch us all a little bit later on. Yeah, thanks. All right, bye.